Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to Star Wars Battlefront 2 Versus. And of course, Yoda's back. Yes.
Back he is.
Back he is. Like, comment, subscribe. Will you? Playing Death Trooper we are.
They should make a Baby Yoda skin.
Yes! Baby Yoda skin. Make it happen. I want to see him with his tiny little lightsaber hands.
Luke, if we did pay monthly for the Mandalorian, I would want to do like either commentaries on it or like review episodes of it.
I mean, that's fine.
Like, but you probably wouldn't, because you don't, unless you don't like, because it would be it's not a really violent, right?
It's Star Wars.
I don't know what that means.
It means it's Star Wars.
It's not violent then.
I mean, it's a Star Wars. Star Wars is a space western, mostly.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like PG.
Yeah, kind
It's not
of.
like Titans that's like crazy.
No.
That's what I'm saying. You could easily review it and talk about it.
Yeah, it's just the problem is it's been out so long. That's all.
Couldn't you just like do like a whole week where you review every single episode for 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably do that. I mean, I'm down with getting it. I just have to go to our
I'll have to
Hulu.
review it myself then.
I think that'd be great.
Really?
Yeah.
If I watched every episode and then I reviewed every one after I watched it?
Like, what I would do is I would add Baby Yoda. See, this is what Disney is lacking. The Mandalorian is a big success right now, more so than their new movie, right?
Of course it is.
Star Wars Battlefront added stuff for The Rise of Skywalker. Why don't in 2020 they add some stuff for The Mandalorian? Like, they put The Mandalorian in the game and Baby Yoda as a skin for Yoda.
Yeah, I mean, instead of following what their agenda is that they want to push, like,
Death Trooper, die!
here's a movie I really wanted to do well, it didn't do well, I keep pretending it did well even though it didn't, and I'm trying to push it.
I mean, it'll probably still make $1 billion, maybe.
Why not actually take a show that actually is doing well instead of being delusional and then using that show to promote stuff? Like, they really need to get people in Disney that are, I mean, I know that they care about making money, but it's just like, I feel like they're sporadic. Like, there's some people that care about making money, and there's some people pushing agendas. And between those two people, they're ruining their own company. Like, they care about making money so much they actually ruin things that are actually going, like Disney Infinity. That was actually making them money, but it wasn't making them enough. However, they have no problem with continuing to push a movie that nobody wants to see.
If they had a better executive, like, that was working at Disney at the time, Disney Infinity would still be ongoing now.
Oh, yeah, because... I mean, if I ran Disney, I would just upstart it again. They already have all the character models and everything.
What I don't understand, personally, is Warner Brothers has the rights to all the Disney Infinity engines and things like that. Why in the world did they not just make a Warner Brothers Infinity? They could have. They could have easily done that and stolen the Disney Infinity audience from
They could have gotten every...
Disney.
I mean, look at the people asking us to do Disney Infinity so many years later. Like, how many years later? It's like 6 years later? What is it?
5 years.
5 years later. People still, on our videos, are like, please! Like, it's not just like, could you think about doing it? It's like, oh my gosh, if you guys don't do another Disney Infinity, I'm gonna die. Like, it's just like, people are they're not just kind of want Disney Infinity, they're like desperate for it. Like, you guys have, like, Disney, you guys have fans that literally will, like, I mean, do you even understand how much money people were throwing into that?
Oh, yeah.
You got the game, it was $60, plus then you had to get the little portal and the figure. So how much was that? Like $120 for just for the game, plus the portal and 3 figures that it came with or something. Then you're gonna be spending close to $300 a year on figurines.
Let me just finish my thought, though. Like, with Warner Brothers, since they own everything, and people have wanted things like a Flash game or a Wonder Woman game, they could have done, like, the Bugs Bunny characters with the DC characters, and, like, all the other properties they own, like Harry Potter and things like that. They could have made a killing by making, like, Warner Brothers... Ultimate or like something else, because they own Avalanche, they own the engine, they own the composer, they bought everything, and it's like they just they've been doing is Warner Brothers has just been like hitting people for copyright for Disney Infinity stuff. They could easily make their own game. Yeah, and they don't.
What they did was they made Lego Worlds.
Lego Dimensions wasn't that good. And it was okay.
It was pretty cool, but the thing is, I would have liked to see them continue it, like, with other stuff. Like, I think the fact that they own, like, did they, like, the whole design, did they get the design and stuff for Disney Infinity?
They own everything. They own the engine.
I would have just made it exactly, because the thing with Disney Infinity versus Lego is that Lego doesn't look as sleek and really, you can't make it look like the... See, this is the thing, and I think this is why I relate to a younger, like, many of the same things that relate, so, like, people online, like, for instance, like, the government is telling me now that, you know, games that I like are for younger audiences, but in reality, they're also for women, because women are very, like, visual. I like things to look pretty, so, like, younger audiences, like younger people, they want the characters to look like the characters in the movie. They don't want it to be a Lego version or something. They want to see their characters. Like when you see Aladdin or Jasmine as a character model, or or Iron Man, like he's actually in the game. It's not a Lego version of Iron Man. He is Iron Man.
Yeah, he is.
It looked fantastic. The characters look great. When you went to Agrabah for that environment from the Disney movie, it looked like Agrabah. You could build it yourself. You could build Agrabah however you wanted. It was great. It was the visual. It was how great it visually looked. So I feel like for Warner Bros., like you said, like you could make a Hoth base in Disney Infinity. Or wait, that was Disney. Okay, what could Warner Brothers do?
They could have made a Fortress of Solitude thing.
They could make a Batman lair that looked just as good as Agrabah.
Bat Cave, Amber.
Okay.
Come on, Amber. How long have you been a DC person?
All right. They could have made a Bat Cave, and you could have put really cool things in the Bat Cave, like that coin and the everything that Batman has in his Bat Cave.
Yeah, it was a huge missed opportunity, but
like every single thing that you love in the comics, you could have. That could have been it. A comic thing.
Mine.
Comics brought to life for younger audiences, or even older audiences that really like kind of visually cool looking, like a building world. I mean, there's so many people that play Disney Infinity that were actually adults, like 40 to 60 years old, that really just loved building things.
It got into that whole like audience that enjoyed like creating stuff.
Yes. There were so many people that loved, like I loved making my Ewok village. So it would be fantastic, like...
Bye-bye!
I would just love to see... I mean, you're right. You could make...
Die!
That was the thing. You could introduce... That was one of the things that Disney was trying to do, is introduce audiences that may have not been familiar with all their characters in a world where all the characters can interact together. So you could have Bugs Bunny and have, like, a... have a environment that was, like... Rabbit versus Duck season. You could have all the characters that would go with that. Elmer Fudd, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, everything, like all together, and then have like a little, like for me, if I was designing for Bugs Bunny, I would have like an underground like area where if you guys have seen the old Bugs Bunny cartoons, I was defeated.
All right, guys, so that does it for the first round. So Yoda has trounced the Death Trooper. So it's time for round 2, and if Yoda wins this, Yoda wins.
No!
Round 2 it is. Yoda will win.
Well, I'll just say my end of this and I'll be done, but, like, if you guys have seen the old Bugs Bunny cartoons, like, I loved Warner Brothers cartoons growing up. And I'll just say this really quick, but if you guys have seen Bugs Bunny, it would be a great throwback to old Warner Brothers fans to see, like, Bugs Bunny's actual, like, little rabbit hole where he has his lamp, his, like, snacks, everything. That they actually had snacks and, like, a lamp and different things like that in the old cartoons, if you actually remember. So I think that would be great. And then add DC Comics stuff. It would be great to bring all that together. I just feel like...
That's your trooper.
Sorry. I just feel like...
Amber can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time.
Anyway, I'm gonna stop, but I just feel like Warner Brothers doesn't think that they can they have as much to work with as Disney, but I feel like...
No, they do. They decided not to. They just have been, like, hitting people with copyright for years. Well, they own everything.
Well, I don't know. I feel like this is weird, but I'm just gonna hope and pray that they do make that, because that's gonna be like I'm gonna wish for that.
Nope, that type. Toys to Life is gone. Like, no one's gonna do it again.
I really enjoyed it though.
If they just would have done that and like canceled the Lego Dimensions and gone with the Warner Brothers Infinity thing, they would have made more money, because them charging so much for Lego stuff. The Disney Infinity figures were not as expensive as all the Lego sets. And like, the Lego stuff was more expensive.
The first thing that I said when we got Lego Dimensions was, I thought the Lego figures were going to be larger than normal Legos, but they were the same as regular Legos.
Same size they were.
But, I mean, I guess that's okay, but at the same time, I feel like they were very small figurines. That was... huge.
Well, Legos are tiny.
Well, I know, but I didn't like that. I didn't.
Well, I mean, they were gonna make them the size of Legos.
That was my number one thing I didn't like, that they were the size of Legos. Is that weird?
Yoda's invincible.
They really, so what I'm saying is we should really have Baby Yoda in here. Like, in conclusion.
That was weird topic, Amber. I would focus or die you will, because Yoda is up 1 to your nothing. Also, I love the fact that you're shooting your own troops. It's great. Right, like, oh! Got me, you did. Interesting. Oh, you just got wrecked by a Hoth trooper. Oh, that's hilarious.
Fear is the path.
Karma that was. Beaten you were. A laugh I did.
I hope that someday, if I can get a business degree or something, I can work with one of these toy companies or something. I would have so many awesome ideas.
Well, I mean, that's how you get into that kind of stuff, but the Toys to Life thing for games is over. Like, companies just see it as a risk now. When Disney pulled out, everybody stopped their stuff. Ubisoft was the last one to kind of try to revitalize that with Starlink, but Starlink was a bust.
I did like the design of their ships, though.
Yeah.
But the thing was, it was
too expensive.
The ships were too expensive. Like, you have to have it reasonably... You have to... It's like... Okay. You have to drag people in and make them believe that they're not paying that much per toy. But then, the more that they get... It's like Walmart. When you go to Walmart, you go in there to, quote, save money. But you end up spending more money than you would have at a regular grocery store. You know why? Because everything there is inexpensive, so you buy more. That's how you sell Toys to Life.
Wow, you were getting wrecked by the NPCs.
I'm just saying, that's how you sell them. You have to make them inexpensive per toy, but you're making so many amazing toys that they have to buy them all. That's how you do it. See? I've got ideas here.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna win. Don't worry. I'll just get all the rest of your troops now. Go dark.
Very... No, people don't want dark. People want... not foreign commentary. People want action. Have we done Kylo Ren versus Yoda? I don't think we have. I don't remember. Everybody likes
my own troop.
Yoda, like, is one of the most requested parts of this as possible.
You're so cute.
Cute and deadly I am. Oh, the geriatric. Die, you did.
So, yeah. You know why Yoda really didn't, why he really hid out on Dagobah? Because he didn't want to go to a nursing home.
No, that's not the only reason. I mean, the guy was wanted for wiping out, like, so much.
Who?
Yoda! Yeah,
wiping out.
He wiped a lot of people out. He fought, he was like a leading rebel before there were rebels. Like, he took on an entire legion of people in the Wookiee town.
So he's like a war hero.
Well, I mean, he didn't want to be a war hero. It was kind of thrust upon him. And he was like 800 years old during the Clone Wars, I think. When he died with Luke later, I think he was like 900 and something. So he lived a long time.
I feel like it was very fitting that Luke knew him at the end because, I mean, I think he needed to pass on his knowledge to somebody like that.
Well, I never got to finish my thing from the last thing because you went on a Rey tangent, but the reason why Luke was so powerful as opposed to Rey just being the bestest ever, who is, because of her bloodline, the reason why she's so powerful, Luke failed tremendously. Luke lost arms. Luke, you know, loses his wife and stuff and all these other things. Over time, he did become the best Grand Jedi Master ever because he studied. Like, he studied under Force Ghost Obi-Wan, Force Ghost Qui-Gon, Force Ghost Yoda. Oh. He found the Jedi texts. Well, he rebuilt the Jedi Order.
So you're saying every time he failed, it spurred him on to be stronger.
Exactly.
That kind of reminds me of, like...
That's why he was able to crush a Star Destroyer, not in orbit like Starkiller, and he was able to do all these incredible feats with the Force, is because he really trained.
Yeah.
He practiced at it. He just wasn't like, okay, I could do this stuff because this is what the Force is. Just like Han Solo says in The Force Awakens. That's not how the Force works. Like, it was something that he had to diligently dedicate his life to. And he did become more powerful than Yoda or Vader or anybody before him. But he had to find this stuff. How they explain it in one of the movies, I think The Last Jedi, when Yoda shows up to destroy the Jedi tree, which I didn't even know they had a Jedi tree. That's news to me. Yeah. But Yoda destroys the tree of the Jedi because Rey finds the books or whatever.
I really like what you said about Luke, and I'm sorry for talking over you on the last match.
It's fine. So anyway, guys and gals, that does it for today's Star Wars versus. Yoda is victorious in the comment section below. Since we're done with the Rise of Skywalker stuff, let us know what you'd like to see next. And if you would like the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda added to Star Wars Battlefront 2, make some noise in the comment section below. We hope you guys had a good one. Stay tuned later today for more Star Wars Bounty Hunter, Power Rangers versus, and who knows what else. God bless and happy gaming.